We are joined by attorney Jeff O'Brien for our weekly 3 and Out, 3 sports stories in the fall. They're related to college football, the 2 D1 teams, Gophers and Tommies, and the best Division III in the state and possibly the nation, the St. John's University Johnnies. And they didn't play this past weekend. I want to start with them because they had the playoffs began in D3, and they had the week off. They had a bye, but now they got Wisconsin La Crosse, an 8-3 team. I don't know much about it, but I think this should be a game the Johnnies can win. Now that they're starting their games, they will be at home, but this is not an easy road for them. Every D3 team they'll be facing is a decent team. They weeded out the bad ones. The ones that got automatic picks.
La Crosse weeded one out in grand fashion on Saturday because they beat Northwestern from St. Paul 59-14. So
yeah, but you know what? People should not. Oh my God, they can score 59. That was not a good team, and not a team that they have automatic bids.
Yeah, the reason they did it is because you put these automatic bids. You put a school like Northwestern against a school like St. John's. My gosh, St. John's could have scored double the points.
Exactly.
We don't want those games in the playoffs, so that's why they did this.
Yeah, so it's but it's the beginning of a road. This could be a really special team, and obviously you have become somewhat, even though you were a graduate of St. Thomas, you have been a proponent of the Johnnies since they got kicked out of the MIAC, because you and I both think that was wrong what happened. But my son went to St. John's. He didn't play football. He played rugby there. But I pull for them now. I freely admit it. So it'll be interesting.
I feel for them because they lost their biggest rival. That was that game, that Tommy Johnny game was a big thing at St. John's, and Johnny's Bethel just doesn't have the same ring to it. And so you kind of want to see them do what they're doing right now and run the table to have some success, given that they kind of, we'll talk about St. Thomas, but they're doing okay in Division I, but the MIAC really got upended, and the Johnnies get to play schools like St. Scholastica now. It is what it is. But yeah, I cheer for them because I want them, you want to see them do well.
Yeah, and if I made it sound like my gobbledygook explanation, it might have sounded like I meant St. John's moved to D1. No, it's the Tommies, and they won over the weekend, right?
Yeah, St. Thomas won. They beat Dayton 32-9 in their season finale.
That's a good way to get out of the season with a win like that.
Yeah, so they end up 5-3 in the conference, 6-6 overall. They finished in 5th in the Pioneer League, which is their lowest finish since moving up. They've been in 1st or 2nd the first 3 years. They were 2nd in year 1, they were 1st in year 2, and they were 2nd last year. They can't go they have one more year before they can go to the playoffs.
Yep.
But they also scheduled most of their non-conference games against D1 schools with scholarship programs. So, that you still see the difference between, D1 just isn't D1 isn't D1 every
without
place.
Scholarships. It makes a huge difference, no question. But it's a good way to close out the season for them. And this Gopher team, how do you explain this team? You did it off the air, and I want you to use the same expression. That's when I said, save it for the show.
They're consistently inconsistent, Bob.
It's the best way to put it. They had a chance to beat a very nicely ranked Penn State team, and they blew it.
You look at the whole season, right? They lose winnable games early. We have them written off. They then come back and knock off USC and UCLA in succession. They upset Illinois when Illinois was ranked number 24. They become bowl eligible. You think, hey, let's maybe we can beat Rutgers and Wisconsin, but probably not going to beat Penn State. So what do? They lay an egg at Rutgers. We think they're going to get blown out by Penn State now. And they come back and lose by a point this weekend. And now I guess all bets are off for Wisconsin. I don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what motivates this team. I mean, hey, great, they're going to the Good Enough Bowl. But you just wish they could pull off a win like this, like they could have had this weekend.
You know what? Here in this regard, they're very much like the Vikings. They play to the level of the competition. They play up
Absolutely.
and they play down. And that is, well, I mean, sometimes it works. I mean, it works when they're when they can pull it off, but it didn't work this weekend. And I don't know. You know what? You know what's gotten extremely old for me? PJ Fleck running out in front of the team. Grow up.
Yeah.
It's your team. You know what? Let the team be the focal point instead of you being the focal point.
Right.
This guy, I just don't understand the guy. And also, I don't think, I'm actually having my thoughts and questions about O'Connell too. I don't think either one of them is an offensive wizard. And I'm going to transition over to the Vikings and O'Connell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I had this conversation with Dave Bialke. Every elite great receiver in the NFL is double and triple teamed. Figure out a way to get this guy open.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Justin Jefferson. There was a touchdown negated, but frankly, had Brandon Powell not set a screen, it never would have been a touchdown. It would have been a short play.
Yeah, the thing with the Vikings this year, I mean, again, like we talked about last week, they're 9-2 with Sam Darnold as their starting quarterback. So credit where credit is due. But again, we had the Packers game earlier in the year, and now we kind of a microcosm of that in the last half of the last quarter yesterday. They cannot put a team away that they should.
No, I mean, it was less than 2 minutes left, and they have an 11-point lead. The game should have been a blowout.
Yeah.
But they just can't do it. I mean, early in the game, and I think Aaron Jones is sensational, but he fumbled the ball. That should have been a touchdown. That should have really gotten things going, but it didn't for them. And they allowed a rookie quarterback who has struggled, particularly over the last month or so. He looked pretty dang good. Yep. And by the way, Darnold, and I said this to Dave, tell him to get rid of the ball faster. That one time, I mean, he's got great pass protection, obviously, but it only lasts so long. When he got sacked, when he was back there, it seemed like 5 to 6 seconds. Don't take that much time. Get rid of the ball and come up with plays to get the ball in Justin Jefferson's hands. And, maybe like I said earlier, maybe he needs to put out a meme saying that he's not happy that he's not seeing the ball. It worked for Jordan Addison. Because since he put that meme out, 3 or 4 weeks ago or whatever it was, he's been seeing the ball a ton at the expense of – and now he's making plays, so it's hard to – I'm not rapping him, but I'm rapping both Darnold and O'Connell for not coming up with plays for Jefferson. Because if they lost that game, that would be the focal point of the story, that they got him 2 catches or 2 receptions.
I haven't heard, Bob, what is Darnold's status? I know he got hurt. Someone rolled on his ankle or something at the end of the game, and Mullins came in.
But he came, he was right back on the field again. Again, that could, though, be just adrenaline. And I would expect, put it this way, if you're Daniel Jones and you are his agent, this is the place you want to be. Because they're going to need a really good either backup or starter next year to get the season going if JJ is not ready, McCarthy.
Right.
And because this guy's he's not going to be here next year, not on a $10 million deal, and they're not going to want to spend a lot of money. So Jones would be smart to come here, and on the chance that he gets to play and play a lot. So, but he may want to go to Dallas and finish the season out there. Then again, they won, right? So it's going to be an interesting remainder of the season to see what happens, and it's going to be very interesting to see who is the quarterback next year if J.J. McCarthy is not. I mean, we don't know if he's going to be fully healthy to start the year, so they got to do something, and they got to figure it out now.
And the crazy thing is, Bob, if you look at if the season ended today, who would be in the playoffs? 3 of the 4 NFC North teams would make the playoffs because you've got the Vikings and the Packers that have better records than 2 of the division leaders.
Frankly, the only real division leader that's any good is Philadelphia.
Yep.
Although, I'll tell you, Tampa Bay, if they drew them earlier in the first round, that would scare me if I'm a Vikings fan. because they can put up some points. And Mike Evans is back, and he didn't have a ridiculously big game, but they're going to get better and better because that running back, this Bucky Irving, is terrific, and they still got Rashad White. They have talent on that team, no question about it. All right, Dave. Yeah. Or Dave. This is not Dave Bialke. This is Jeff O'Brien. We need to wrap things up. Thank you, sir. We're going to take a quick break, and the BS Show will be right back. Hey, this is Bob Sansevere, and I want to tell you about my go-to movie theater, and it's a lot more than that. St. Michael Cinema, right off I-94 in St. Michael. Here is cinema manager Shelley Schnell to tell you more about it.
The greatest thing about St. Michael is it is a destination. It's an experience. As soon as you walk in, you are welcome to a Parisian environment. We have 14 auditoriums, including our giant Eiffel screen, which is a 70-foot screen that is just like an IMAX. The best thing about our building is that we offer something for everyone. We've got our $5 Mondays, and that is going to be your bargain Monday. All movies, all day long, all night long, $5 for any age. Tuesday, we've got trivia up at Le Bar on the second floor. Wednesday, we have poker at Le Bar on the second floor. And Thursday is our new release Thursdays. So come on down, play in the free arcade.
If you need new auto glass, there's only one place to call. All Auto Glass. I used them recently. They replace windows on my car and truck. They have mobile service. They have up-to-date technology. They will calibrate vehicles that require it. Great cash prices if you don't have insurance, and a lifetime warranty on their replacements as long as you own your car. They work with all insurance companies, cover the entire Twin Cities metro area, and use quality products and workmanship. Check them out at allauto.com. That's allauto.com. Is inflation making you feel frustrated and out of control when it comes to your expenses? We have a solution. Solidarity Health Share. With Solidarity Health Share, you control what doctors you go to, what your dollars support, and how much you spend with pricing options that start as low as $384 for families. Go to solidarityhealthshare.com for more information or call 844-609-0077. That's 844-609-0077. If you or someone you know is dealing with a DUI, go to smartstartmn.com/the BS Show, and you will get information for 20% off an ignition interlock system. Again, smartstartmn.com/the BS Show.
They're back.